Okay.
So, thank you
it's
so
moving.
much, Pastor Dan. Tell me a little bit about Wetuskin when you come. How long have you been here?
I've been here for 8 years.
Oh,
This weekend.
year.
Yeah,
8 year.
8 years.
So this weekend would be an 80-year celebration, something?
Yeah, well, it's not going to be a celebration really, but it's been 8 years.
So do you have any plan for kind of 8 year celebration by your family together?
Nah. It's just another year.
Another
Yeah,
year.
yeah. It's just maybe we'll do something at 10 years or something like that. But yeah.
So when you got here,
Yeah.
how to find this community?
For me, because I came from Okotoks, which is just south of Calgary, 15 minutes from Calgary. So I found the community very different from what I came from.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that it's where I came from, it was a very transitory
Oh, okay.
community. So people were in and out. I was just telling our staff this morning that they told me when I got there, if you're here for 3 years, you'll have been here longer than most of the people in the church.
Oh.
So because people were just coming and going, and it was part of a big city pretty much, and so when I got here, it was just very different, because most of the people that have lived here have never lived anywhere else. Like it's a
Okay.
very it's a come and stay be born and stay in the community. So we found it difficult in one sense, in that it was very hard to get to know people, because especially coming in as a pastor, because I found the church people were really, they kind of wondered whether you're going to stay.
Oh, okay.
So they're not as quick to open up their own lives and to allow people to get to know them. So we would invite people over when we first got here from the church for lunch or whatever, and we often hear that this is the first time we've been invited over anywhere for 5 years, type of thing. Because most of them, they come to church and then they just go and they get together with their family. Whereas anybody that's not in their family, they hardly get together with on a social sort of level. So we just found it was very difficult to just get to know people and get into people's lives a little bit more, just because it's a farming community. People have, there were some people that I would talk to that said they'd never left Alberta.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't believe that. So
Yeah.
so it was just a big change for us that way. So the nice thing about it though is once people do get to know you, like they're giving you half a side of beef and all sorts of things, right? So once you gain their trust, for a pastor, it's very good, because people are then very quick to open up, right? So it just takes a while. That's what I found. It just took a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did you take? How long did you take to get into kind of center, kind of feeling that people? Oh, yeah, he's gonna stay.
Yeah, I would say probably it took a good year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Before they're going, oh, this is gonna happen here, and then you start to feel like at home a little bit more. But it took a while.
So you've been here 8 years. Have you ever seen any changes over the time you have been here?
Yeah, and that's another thing, right? The town changes very slowly. Change happens very slowly, and that happens in the church too. So change, you really have to sell change. You have to say why you're going to do it and how this is going to be of benefit, and it just takes a long time. Whereas where I came from before, things are changing so quickly all the time, and people it doesn't really faze them that much. But here you really have to explain it, and so yeah, it takes a little while, but people are open to it once you give them a good reason to want to do things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got here, the city itself.
City itself?
Yeah. Do you see any changes?
No, not much. Other than the economy, right? The economy changed things. So
especially last year, economy kind of going down.
That's right. But as far as growth and things like that, very slow change. So there's houses going up very slowly, and even down our street here, right? These houses been under construction for years and years and years, right? Where I came from before, it would have been done and built already, right?
Absolutely.
Here it's just slow. Everything is slow. Yeah.
We think building projects going to take almost, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when you're going to start.
Yeah. Well, this church is now 8 years old. Like, this church was built when I got here. It's still one of the newest buildings in town. Like, there's not much newer than that.
Yeah.
So.
a lot of time, when I interview quite a few people, they've been here a long time, but when they got here, they're thinking that this could be maybe transitional, maybe place, maybe here, and then they moving into kind of big city because Edmonton is not far away from
No,
here.
it's not too far.
So for you, you're young pastor, and you've been in a city, life, and you getting used to living in there. Now you coming here, you're pastor, you're kind of farming, agricultural, with asking, do you have any kind of mind that okay, I will stay maybe a few years and then I'm gonna go into maybe big city and be a somebody because everybody wants to be. I don't think that's not bad, but people want to go in big city and be a somebody. Are you a somebody here already? But
well, for me, it's it's a number one, and just in a couple of levels. I never wanted to just use any church I was ever at for a step up. I always wanted to be fully engaged into the community and for myself, I never, unless the Lord somehow really shows me that He wants me to move somewhere, I'm not going to move. Like my kids were young when we got here. We have 4 children, and the youngest was 8 when we got here. So I just thought this is, even for their sake, I don't want to just move them out right away. I want them to grow up here, and for good or for ill, right? So sometimes it's not the best place to raise a family either. We found out, but yeah, and then on another level, we just I'm more. I think my personality fits more with a place like this. Like I'm not really a guy that just really wants to, has aspirations to want to have a big church or bigger church or that sort of thing. So I just really want to dig into a church and into a community as well, and just be part of it, and really feel like I'm going to be here forever, even though I wasn't here. I didn't grow up with all these people that are part of my community and part of my congregation, but I really wanted to feel like I was, and that I was going to stay, and that they could trust me that I'm just not here for a step up. As a transitional sort of place. So.
Yeah, and I can see that there is quite a change for you, and you've been staying almost close to Calgary, and then now moving into here. So big change.
Yeah.
So how do you think kind of shape your identity? Because
my own identity.
Yeah, your identity. Because when I was in Vancouver and then Toronto, there was a big change for me coming to here, and then different culture, and then different language. It shaped me a lot. When I back to Korea, people notice me. I'm different.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of without the city itself and shape you?
Yeah.
Your identity.
Yeah, and I had a similar sort of path as you as well. I grew up in Winnipeg. I grew up in a big city. I always lived in the city. But when we lived in Okotoks, we moved out to an acreage, so we lived out in the country a little bit. So I got a little sense of country living, and the same thing when we moved here. Then we thought the best place for our children would be to be out in the country. Now we lived in the city when we first got here because we couldn't find an acreage. So, but then 4 years in, we moved out into the country, and we enjoyed that life. As far as this shaped my identity, I think this same sort of thing. Like it's changed me in the sense that. I'm aware of the land, number one.
Oh, okay.
Because the people that are our church are into either oil and gas or agricultural, right? Or rural. So I found out a lot more about, it's changed my interests.
Okay.
So in the sense that, I'm interested now in the rain and the seasons and the cycles of life and those sort of things. So, you grew up in a big city, you don't really have any concern about that. Yeah, you hear about, prices going down and it affects, of course, our economy. All that stuff affects our economy, our agriculture and things like that. So, for instance, this year, right, we had a really wet year. The farmers didn't get their harvest on until sometime in the spring here.
The end of May, maybe.
Yeah. And so I really haven't. I would have never been concerned about that in the past, but now I'm concerned about that because my people are concerned about that, right? And it really affects our city. So I've been shaped in that way a lot. I would think it's just given me a more global concern and a wider concern, I guess, for the things that are going on, rather than in the city life you're just really concerned about yourself and your immediate surroundings, right? Where here it's been extended a little bit.
I used to have an actual puppy when I was back in Korea, but it's mostly my father's and the mother. And then my wife really want to have a puppy, and then we moved into here.